If you're a yoga teacher trying to grow on YouTube by copying what other big channels are doing, please stop. Because this strategy only holds you back. And I would know because I made this mistake for many years when I was trying to grow my own channel. Because I know how easy it is to look at the Yoga with Adrians and the Boho Beautifuls of the world and think, oh, well, I'll just copy what they're doing. They've been really successful. Let me just try that myself. But the thing is, they have had so many years of working and perfecting what they are doing that now it looks like it's really easy, but you didn't see all of the years of them like figuring it out to get to where they are now. And at the point where they are now, they could probably post whatever they wanted. And because they've built so much trust and they've got such a big audience, they will get the views. But if you're starting from zero, you haven't got that trust with people yet. People don't know you yet. So you can't just go copying what they're doing, hoping it's going to work for you. You've got to do the graft. So instead of copying, let's analyze what they do really well so you can understand how you can bring these elements into your own experiences. So when I looked at Yoga with Adrian's channel, I noticed one thing she does brilliantly. Her channel is all about making people feel welcome, making anyone who's ever felt like yoga wasn't for them think otherwise. And you'll notice this in her introductions, she immediately makes you feel at ease. She immediately makes you feel welcome. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what experience you've got. You already feel like I am part of this community. She does a brilliant job of that because that is the focus of her channel. She knows who she wants to be for, so she is speaking directly to them. And a great example of this is whenever she is doing something that might be perceived as being a little bit difficult. Say there's going to be like a core element to the class. A lot of people get intimidated by the word core. She will address this introduction in the introduction and she'll say to people, I know core might sound a little scary, but don't worry. And then, she'll assure people in that way. She does a great job of anticipating what her audience, that audience of people who might feel a little bit intimidated by yoga, need to hear. And she says that to make them feel at ease, to make them feel like they are in the right place. So I bring this up to get you to think about what type of person you are creating for, or what type of people, who are they? Where are they in their yoga journey? What are their, preconceived ideas about yoga? And how can you bring that into the way you deliver your classes? Do you want to be the person that is just speaking to the intermediate yogis? Then speak to them using language that they understand. You don't need to use beginner language. It doesn't need to be, as accessible as Yoga with Adrian's classes are. But it's really important to start off by thinking about this from the get-go. So how can I set their expectation? How can I talk to them at their level so that they feel like they're in the right place? Now, when it comes to making people feel like they're in the right place, a big mistake I see many people making, and this is something that I did a lot when I was copying what Boho Beautiful were doing, what I was copying what Jessica Rickberg was doing, and all of these other teachers is, it's very tempting to try and do too many things at once, to be constantly changing your strategy. But what this does is it creates a really unpredictable experience for your students, and they never know what to expect from your classes. But the reason why the big channels are so successful is because every single class is predictable without it feeling like a repeat experience. Like people know they're going to feel welcomed when they go to Yoga with Adrian. They know they're going to feel inspired when they go to Boho Beautiful. They're going to be met with like a gorgeous backdrop, maybe a beach. And obviously Juliana's stunning, which really helps. But, I use this as an example to share how their experiences are always the same. Although the class theme and substance might change, they create this franchise experience. So people know when they see a Boho Beautiful thumbnail, what they're going to get from that class. And that is why people go back to them. So this is why if you are bouncing different ideas around, you're trying voiceovers and then you're talking in real time and then you have this thumbnail and then you have this in your backdrop and it's just too confusing for people, you need to simplify it. You need to think about how can I create an experience that is me? How can I talk to my people to make them feel like they're in the right space, because it is the people who understand that go far on YouTube. It took me a very long time to understand that. So I really hope I'm going to save you years of struggle, years of banging your head against the wall, trying to figure out what it is. You need to simplify. You need to create an experience that people start to associate as you. And you need to stop trying out a million different things. Now, one question I often get is, do I do voiceovers? Do I speak in real time? You know, Yoga with Adrian speaks in real time. She's great at it. But Boho Beautiful does voiceovers, is brilliant at that too. The answer is a very personal one, because it depends how you like to teach. For me, I never enjoyed voiceovers because I always felt a little bit disconnected from what I was saying. Like I couldn't feel what I was saying in my body. That's why I teach in real time, because I can speak from my felt experience, and I much prefer to speak from that place. So there is no right or wrong. It's dependent on like what works best for you. And I think this is a really important point to make, because you might see someone's thumbnail style or someone's video style and be like, well, that works for them. Why doesn't it work for me? Because it's personal, you know? Just the same way the voiceover style doesn't work for me. Certain thumbnail styles just don't work for some people, but they do for others. Like you have to find your own style, just the same way you have to understand who you're speaking to, what kind of experience you want to create for people. So another thing that I noticed that Yoga with Adrian does really, really well, I remember reading about this in an article, is she anticipates what people need to hear before they know they even need to hear it. This is how they have such great retention. So when it comes to creating experiences that people love, you also have to anticipate when people might not be loving it, and to try and steer them back on track. So for example, if it gets to a point in the class where, you know, people will start to feel challenged, reassure them. Let them know that what they are doing is difficult. And this helps keep those people that might be tempted to click away because they start to feel like it's not for them. Or on the flip side of that, if it's a little bit easy, let people know, I know this might seem easy, but this is an opportunity to really focus on your alignment, to really focus on the details, because easy can also be hard. You know, the simple foundational postures have so much depth to them that it doesn't matter how advanced you are, you can still get so much value from it. But if you just bring people's awareness back to that at different intervals within the class, you will help with retention and you will help keep people on board. This is especially important if you are catering to lots of different people. So if you're going to be the yoga teacher for all levels and you are teaching all levels classes, you know, the advanced practitioners are probably going to be getting bored, or the beginner practitioners, they need more assurance. So you've got to be anticipating what people need to hear in your classes, because if you do that, if you subtly add that into your cues, people know this person is with me. You know, she or he has really thought about me. And that is what creates the kind of experience that people want to be coming back to. Now, another thing you need to think about, as well as, anticipating what people need to hear, is just the things that you say in general. I think a lot of people think too small on YouTube. I know I definitely did when I was first starting out. I used to think that the people that did my classes were the people in my local neighborhood. They're not. YouTube is worldwide. So you have to be thinking about the way you can present to people that will be understood by audiences worldwide. And by this, I mean, if you're using terminology, if you're using words or phrases that are known by your local community or by your country even, that might not always land with people in other countries. You've kind of got to anticipate that there will be non-native English speakers. This is why over the years I've really tried to simplify my language, and it's not dumbing it down. It's just making it so that everybody can understand, so that no one feels inferior because you used a big word and no one understood you. if there's one thing that I will say is that the people that do well on YouTube are the people that make people feel welcome, at ease, part of the community. It's why Yoga with Adrienne's so big, because that is her whole thing. So if I were you, I would start thinking about the way you communicate and how you can simplify that. Oftentimes how you can say less instead of more, how you can be more intentional with the words that you do use to reassure people at those times when they need it, or to bring people back to focus when they might be, considering clicking away, going to do another teacher's video. So there's lots for you to think about there. That is a much better strategy than just copying other teachers. Now, I know that teaching on camera does not come naturally to people. It didn't for me. I was painfully shy in the first few years of teaching online. So I've got another video that I recommend you watch that is going to help you get over this so that you can start talking to camera just like you are talking to a friend. So go and watch this video next.